happy new month to everyone that is watching this video. So I know a lot of times I come on here and I market and I talk about my olive leaf extract, either the liquid formula of my olive leaf or either the moringa cilantro superfood. And I'm very, what's the word? Extra careful about how I present the video. Um, very professional, so to speak. But in this particular video today, I am going to be sharing my very own intimate testimony on how my olive leaf extract, the original formula, helped to save my life back in April of this year. It's a very near and dear story to me, but I found that it was very important that I share this with the masses so that they can understand the power behind healthy living and taking the right amount of supplements on a daily basis. So, where do I start? So, as most of you guys know, if you follow me on social media, my husband and I traveled to Nigeria. Well, we traveled to Nigeria quite often, but this particular time we traveled to Nigeria March of this year, March 2025, for several reasons. One of them being for my birthday celebration, the second one being for our Ifa traditional marriage ceremony, as well as for several initiations for myself. We were there for almost a month, and the trip was absolutely nothing short of amazing from the start to finish. We spent time in Lagos as we normally do, and we also spent time in different other parts of Nigeria, Iketi, Oksogbo, Ishararimo, and just really, taking in the culture like we always do. We accomplished everything that we needed to accomplish. With in terms of getting the birthday celebration and also with the wedding ceremony, as well as with my Oshun and Egbe initiation, and also me receiving my Egungun masquerade shrine. So all of those things went 100% smoothly, without any hiccups, setback, delays, or denials. So the trip itself was absolutely amazing. So we returned back to the States at the end of the month of March. I think it was like March 29th, March 30th that we got back in town. And once we got back in town, I wasn't feeling too well. And I felt because it was just, being overworked and everything that had taken place. And I had, my hair was shaved and I was on the plane and the air was blowing on my head. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm catching a cold or something. So I'm self-medicating for like 2 days before I decided to go to the hospital here in the States. But I won't name the hospital. Um, and I go there, and they, of course, misdiagnosed me with particular things that were not the primary factor of me being ill. So during this time, my family and I had to travel to Florida for my father's memorial because he had transitioned like a week before, or within that week of us traveling to Nigeria. So we traveled back home to Florida to attend my father's memorial. That was the ultimate purpose of us traveling back to Florida for my dad's memorial. Of course, we get there safely. We take a road trip, my husband and the children. But in us getting there, things took a turn for the worse for me. I became much more sick than I was when I was in Atlanta, and my husband had to rush me to the hospital. It was very critical, very severe, and we didn't know what it was. My husband and I were just going off of, let me just say, my husband himself was going off of information that we got from the previous hospital that we visited in Atlanta, but none of that information was aligning with my current state or condition. At that point, this was April 4th. At that point, I had experienced severe altered mental status. I couldn't recognize people that were actually my family members. I couldn't speak of my name or anything of that sort. So I was immediately rushed to the hospital, put into the emergency room, making necessary assessments. And from that point, I had to be transferred over to ICU. I was very critical, not conscious at all, in and out. Breathing was not good. Jaundice. I mean, you name it. I literally went from um, July of 2024 with my annual checkup with report of a 100% healthy 43-year-old, only for April of 2025 my life began to take a severe turn for the worse. Doctors were assessing me, looking at my vitals and my lab results, and it was everybody was praying, in their way of praying, whether it's Ifa, whether it's Christianity, but everybody was praying that I pulled through because it was not looking good, and it was not looking good because I had been diagnosed with cerebral malaria. Cerebral malaria is a very, very severe case. It's not very common. So most hospitals, especially in the States, are not really aware of how to treat the condition. And so with that being said, my first 3 days in the hospital was extremely, extremely critical. I it took me about a week or so to be into full consciousness and being able to read my charts and my results and everything. And as I'm reading my results and my progress or care notes from the doctor, it was very it was very saddening, but it was also very refreshing because I was able to read the notes that I was reading. And within those notes that I was reading, it spoke of, 44-year-old woman presented here with altered mental status. They said that I had sepsis and cerebral malaria, where the malaria had attacked my body, over 67% of my body. There was parasites, eating away at my body. And for those of you that don't know much about malaria itself, look it up. And then when you look into cerebral malaria, it's even more severe. And so there were special medications that had to be flown in to treat the malaria, and it was very critical. So, with that being said, like I said, it took days for me to come out of the unconscious status, and when I came into, and not 100%, but when I came into being able to process everything that had taken place at that point, the doctors began to come in and talk to me and, explain to me. And it was like, had you not been a healthy 43-year-old woman, things would have turned out differently for you. And I say that to say, in previous videos, you guys have seen me talk about me being in the health and wellness sector for the majority of my adult life, very big on going the holistic way first, versus opting for the prescribed medications that the pharmaceuticals and the doctors give to you. And so, with that being said, the reason why I say I want to explain to you guys how my olive leaf extract original formula helped to save my life is simply because with my olive leaf extract, it helps to fight off so many ailments, high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, but not to mention, it helps to fight off or kill off any parasites that you may be carrying in your body. Most of us don't go to the doctor and get a normal colon cleanse, a normal checkup, to say the least. And so I have been very adamant about consuming my olive leaf every single day, several times a day. Even when we were traveling to Nigeria, we traveled with our my olive leaf formula with us to take as our daily regimen as we would take when we were here in the States. And with all of that being said, had it not been for one, me living as a healthy person on a day-to-day basis, eating right, exercising, and consuming my olive leaf every day, I probably wouldn't be here present to be able to tell you guys my one and true intimate testimony of how my olive leaf helped to save my life. Um, I know I talk about the product often on my social media page, because it is not just a product that my husband is the owner of, but it is a product that I can honestly say that I stand by for myself because I have taken it. It is a daily regimen in our household for our entire family, including the children. Our family members outside of the home consumes the product on a regular basis. My aunt, my mom, you name it, my family members, whoever decides that they are okay with the holistic way of doing things, they have a bottle of the My Olive Leaf in their medicine cabinet at home. And in addition, one of our good EFA sisters, she was traveling over to Nigeria with us and she was not feeling well. We gave her a bottle of My Olive Leaf, and until this day, she has become a ongoing customer since then. So, guys, I say all of that to say, I'm sure that each and every one of us may be walking around with some type of ailment that we're not aware that we're carrying because one, we're not going to the doctors on a regular basis. And secondly, we tend to ignore things when it comes to our physical body and our physical health. But if you are a person that may not focus on going to the doctor as often as you should, or you don't pay attention to symptoms in your body, I would highly recommend that you get your hands on a normal regimen, at least a monthly supply of it every month. Work it in your budget and have your My Olive Leaf in your medicine cabinet. It's Olive Leaf is almost like your Tylenol, your Pepto Bismol. Like it's always in our medicine cabinet. You know, we even have Pepto Bismol in our medicine cabinet. We have Tylenol in our medicine cabinet. We have Aleve, but we also have My Olive Leaf as well. And I'm just encouraging you guys, based on my personal testimony, my personal story, guys. I'm telling you, had it not been for Olive Leaf, I wouldn't be here presently telling this story to you guys. And I'll tell you a funny thing. When my husband and I were traveling back from Nigeria to the States, there was a situation where we had to, pack up our things and make sure there was no weight over limit for each one of the suitcases. And so one of the suitcases had the My Olive Leaf product in there. And so my husband was like, the weight is too much. I was like, well, we got to take some of the Olive Leaf bottles out. So as we're taking them out, there was one that we were using and it wasn't fully completed. So I opened the bottle up and literally consumed it like it was a drink or a shot of alcohol or something. And we always laugh about that joke, that situation. And we tell Spirit that it was interesting how Spirit was already ahead of us in terms of what was about to come in terms of the malaria in Florida, because I had consumed so much of the olive leaf in that one moment. So it was, working in my body. But guys, that is my personal testimony. I did not come on here to be super, super pristine, super, super professional, but just really to tell you guys, that the product really does work. I know that there's other My Olive Leaf products out there. I haven't personally consumed them myself, but I can stand by this product and let you know that we have had patients with eczema. Clients with eczema. We have had clients with cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, stomach issues, fibroids. The list goes on. So I can guarantee you that for whatever condition that you may be suffering with, olive leaf can aid and assist with that condition to help you treat it. So with that being said, guys, like I always tell you, if you're interested in the product and you need help in making a decision on which one, the original or maximum formula, you can always inbox me or just simply go to Shop My Olive Leaf and you look at the product. We have the telephone number directly to the main line in regards to questions that you may have, and go ahead and get your product inside of your medicine cabinet and don't let the condition arise and now you need to reach for your My Olive Leaf. I thank you guys all the time for your time, and thank you for putting in your mind the importance of living a healthy and wellness life each and every day.